Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 17, entitled The Victory of Hiranyaksha. The victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. Text number 30. Pashyami nanyam purushat puratanad yasam yuge tvam ranamarga kovidam आराधयिष्यति असुरार्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृशः पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातनात् य संयुगे त्वां रणमार्गकोविदम् आराधयिष्यत्यसुरार्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृशः पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातनात् य संयुगे त्वां रणमार्गकोविदम् आराधयिष्यत्यसुरार्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृशः First seniors will recite. Pashyami nanyam purushat puratanaat yasam yuge tvam ranamarga kovidam आराधयिष्यत्यसुरर्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृशः पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातनात् या संयुगे त्वां रणमार्गकोविदम् आराधयिष्यत्यसुरर्षभेहितम् मनस्विनोऽयं गृणते भवादृश. Uh, word meanings. Pashyami, I see. Na, not. Anyam, other. Purushat, than the person. Puratanat, most ancient. Yah, who. Samyuge, in battle. Tvam, to you. Ranamarga, in the tactics of war. Kovidam, very much skilled. Aradhaishyati, will give satisfaction. Asurar O chief of the Asuras. Ihi, approach. Tam, him. Manasvinaha, heroes. Yam, whom. Grinate, praise. Bhavadrisha, like you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: You are so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. Purport: Aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha that the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek to fight with Lord Vishnu. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are reading this episode of Hiranyaksha and his demonic nature, and we are practically seeing in this chapter that how so through his instance, his and his brothers, his elder brother Hiranyakashipu. So through both of their examples, all the demonic qualities are being discussed in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we read in the previous chapters that how these two demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, so how they were born and means how they were forced from the Vaikuntha. Those two, they were the two doorkeepers of Lord Vishnu. They were engaged in his service, but they did some offense, and we also saw that how it is Lord's desire to sometimes to fight because he is the supreme person and the source of everything. So, you, including the tendency to fight, whatever we experience in this material world has its origin, has its source in the Supreme Lord. So, since we see that there is a tendency to fight in this material world, so its origin is the Supreme Lord only. Of course, so all these qualities they exist in the Supreme Lord in the purest form, in pure form, not like the perverted nature of this material world. So that is being discussed. So when in material world people fight, they fight for petty reasons and to satisfy their egos. But when the Supreme Lord fights, he establishes dharma. So like that, and at the same time, so he fulfills his desire like that. So like that, we saw that ultimately these two doorkeepers they were cursed and sent to this material world, and now they are now they are live. Now they are performing their activities. So their demonic activities are being discussed now. So what was going on in this present in the present discussion is that so Hiranyaksha he is now fully grown up and ready to fight, and he is just looking for some opportunity where he can where he can utilize his skill of fighting, where he can fulfill his fighting spirit. So generally, as yesterday it was discussed, Prabhuji explained that how Kshatriyas are also have the tendency to fight, and they eagerly long for opportunity to fight. Uh, but that is not the case with this demon. So although he is looking for an opportunity to fight, but there is a difference, as Prabhuji had explained yesterday, that so Kshatriyas why they fight? Kshitim dharmena palayat. So to establish dharma on this on the in the kingdom or in that region wherever some disturbance is going on. So, but contrary to that or opposite to that, we see the we see the tendency of this demon Hiranyaksha. What he is doing, everything is in order. So everything in this world is going on. So the Lord has established this world. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadaschate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So everything is complete by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. So whatever is required for its maintenance, for its creation, and in fact even for its destruction. So everything is supplied by the Supreme Lord already, and things are going on by their according to the established order of the Lord. So, but when these demons come, what they do, or actually, Prabhupada is not using the word demons in the last in this purport and the previous one, but we see that it is a demonic quality. Prabhupada is using the word materialist. So, materialistic person excessively attached to this material world, sense gratification. So, the things and paraphernalia which is related to this material world. So, what they do is they disturb the existing order of this material world, as it is discussed in the present. Prabhupada mentions in the present word purport. So, unnecessarily disturbing world peace. There is no need. There is no need of any battle here. So, just like the Bhagavad Gita, we see. So, Arjuna is he's a devotee of the Lord. So, what he is doing, he's giving reasons why he should not fight, because he's a devotee ultimately. He doesn't want to create any disturbance, unnecessary disturbance. So he gives good reasons in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, right reasons, but of course they were not applicable at that time. So being a devotee of the Lord, although he understood all those things, but again it was Lord's plan that the Bhagavad Gita be spoken. So he falls into illusion for the benefit of all of us, for materialistic or whatever, for conditioned souls. so that we can also understand this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and understand the philosophy in true perspective. So basically, Arjuna gave all those reasons that he doesn't want to fight. So he's a devotee of the Lord and he doesn't want to disturb the situation. But on the but unlike the present situation means unlike this episode of Hiranyaksha. So the Lord urged him to fight. The Lord gave him so many reasons. The entire Bhagavad Gita is discussed. So many different angles of vision. Krishna is explaining Arjuna that why he should not avoid his duty of fighting. He's a Kshatriya. So he should not try to skillfully escape from warfare. He should fight for establishing dharma. So Kshitim dharmena palayat. He should work to establish the mission of the Lord by establishing true dharma. Because when adharma is prevalent in the society, so the actual goal of human life is lost. So what goes on is bestial means like animals. Sense gratification is goes on. So everyone is engaged in the lower tendencies of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and that's it. So they don't contemplate or think about the higher goals or higher purposes of human existence. And like that, the golden opportunity of human life is absolutely lost. So that therefore there is very important necessity to establish dharma in the society, and kshatriyas they perform their part by doing that. And here we see that this Hiranyaksha. So what he is doing, he's approaching Varuna. So Varuna is none other than the controller of the uh, water bodies. So he's a demigod. He's instilled in that position. He's deputed by the Lord, or his Lord has posted him in the position to take care of this department of the material world. So as the material world is there, as we discussed, Purnamadam. So Lord has made everything available, whatever is necessary for the maintenance of this world. So similarly, he has deputed proper managers and proper predominating deities to take care of the different affairs of all the departments in this material world. So Lord Varuna is one of them, and generally those who are assigned these positions, they are demigods, they are devatas, and they are devotees of the Lord. They are not inimical to the order of the Lord. Otherwise, how they can fulfill the mission of the Lord? So, as it is discussed in the Padma Purana, द्वौ भूतसर्गौ लोकेऽस्मिन् दैव आसुर एव च. So Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asurastad Viparyaya. So there are two kinds of living beings or human beings basically. So broadly they are categorized into two categories. We may discuss and categorize more, but broadly there are two categories. One is Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daivas. So those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu, so they are considered devatas or demigods. Asuras tad viparyaya. And those who are opposite means those who are not devotees of Vishnu. So they are designated as demons or asuras. So the demigods or the devatas, so they always work in accordance with or in alliance with the will of the Supreme Lord. So whatever is required or ordered by the Supreme Lord, accordingly they conduct their affairs and they conduct the affairs of this material world also. But then there are demons also who are opposed to the will of the Lord. So their intention is always to disturb the world peace. So one may think why that tendency comes, and that tendency we can see. Uh, so when one is not satisfied in serving the Supreme Lord, so then one is forced to come to this material world, just like we read in this episode of these two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya. So because they exhibited some sort of materialistic tendency by offending the four Kumaras wanted to visit and meet Lord Vishnu, but they checked them, they stopped them from going inside. So therefore, the Kumaras they cursed them that you will now go to the material world where this materialistic tendency is exhibited. So like that. So the point is that by the desire, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, ichha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. So like that. So by desire, so everyone comes to this material world too, or basically everyone means the conditioned souls. Obviously, liberated souls also come to this material world, Nitya Siddhas, pure devotees of the Lord, and Acharyas, who are Acharyas also. So to establish or to again uh, rescue these conditioned material souls, materially conditioned souls who are struggling or suffering in this material world, to take them back to the kingdom of God and rescue them from their suffering. But generally, most of the living entities, most of the jivas who come to this material world, they are what? They are, as we can understand, they are conditioned souls. They are nitya baddhas. So two categories: nitya siddha and nitya baddha. Nitya siddha means eternally liberated, and nitya baddha means those who are eternally conditioned. Of course, there is a controversy around that. Basically, eternally conditioned means conditioned from time immemorial. We don't know. So we all, as conditioned souls, we came to this material world and we don't know the beginning date since when we came. So again and again, after so many births, as in different species, in 84 lakh species of life, again and again, so being born and getting killed. So somehow we are now in this human body and somehow in this situation. But we don't know when it actually began, when we fell down from Vaikuntha. So therefore, the word used in the revealed scriptures is Nitya Baddha, or one who is eternally means from a very long time he is bound up. So that is our situation. We are bound up. We are bound up by this material energy, by by possessing this material body also, and at the same time this materialistic tendency. So material body means material mind is also there, and that mentality is there of lording it over, of enjoying independently from the Supreme Lord. So, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita about this tendency, Ishwaroham Aham Bhogi. Actually, it is a demonic quality. So, demigods don't, or whatever devotees of the Lord, so they are free from this conditioning. So they understand that a pure devotee of the Lord understands that how. So everything is in this material world, as Krishna says, Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam. So this material world belongs to him, and whatever is there in the world is for his happiness, his enjoyment, or giving pleasure to him. So that example Srila Prabhupada often gave is that if there is a carpenter who is engaged by a by a rich man to make some furniture, so after making the furniture, so who does that furniture belong to? Does it belong to the carpenter or does it belong to the rich man or to the owner of the who has engaged this carpenter? So obviously it belongs to the owner only. So similarly, we are in this material world, and somehow or other we have some power by the material, by the laws of material nature. We have some strength or whatever, some energy is given so that we can control certain aspects of material nature. We can't control everything. So as Krishna is Parameshwara, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So Ishvara Paramaha is mentioned, Lord Brahma is mentioning. So he can control, he is the controller of everything. But we have some limited control over certain aspects of material nature, and that much only is our jurisdiction. We can't control anything beyond that. So, but still, this tendency is there in the mind to control and go on. This is demonic tendency. So, as it is discussed here, so materialistic, aggressive materialistic warriors, Prabhupada writes, are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing world peace. So because of this tendency, when it goes to a higher extent, so we see that it ultimately disturbs world peace. It is not only during the time of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So even in the present time, we can see, even in the previous century, so many famous political leaders came, and just for the sake of fulfilling their temporary ego, short-lived ephemeral ego, which will just go away in just a few seconds. So just to fulfill that ego, what they do is they engage so many innocent people into, they they force them into warfare. So we saw in 20th century so many big wars happened. They are always going on, not only in 20th century. They are going on since time immemorial, but we consider them as big news. So present war between Russia and what is that, Ukraine, since so many years, in 3 or 4 years it is going on. And at the same time in Middle East always there is some warfare. And every place countries are always fighting, so for the sake of establishing supremacy. So that is aggressive materialistic tendency being manifested, we are seeing. And who is to gain anything from this? Basically no one is no one gains anything, and everyone is punished. So those who make big plans to become successful, so ultimately their plans are thwarted by the expert material energy of the Supreme Lord. So here it is Prabhupada writes that how Supreme Lord, so he punishes these materialistic warriors. So in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says his mission for appearance. So uh, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. So in that section when Lord is discussing about the reasons of his appearance, so he's explaining that how he appears to give pleasure to the devotees, paritranaya sadhunam and vinashaya cha dushkritam. So to annihilate the dushkritinas, so those who are miscreants, or those who are this kind of demonic, those who have this demonic tendency. This word dushkritina is discussed in Bhagavad Gita, so in more elaborate detail in the seventh chapter again. So where Krishna explains that how uh, four kinds of people don't surrender unto him. So all of those four people, they are called as dushkritinas, because kriti means some meritorious skill, something meritorious. Sukriti means, or to do it, engage it in a proper way, to engage it in the service of the Lord. And at the same time, Dushkriti means to engage it in the wrong way, in the opposite direction of an established order, just like this demon is doing, this Hiranyaksha is doing, or the present society, it is going on. So entire world order is set up properly, but by dint of our more intelligent mind, so we want to invent new things and we want to disturb the world order. Hmm. So in every field, in every sphere of activities, we see that. So simply the society can be conducted very nicely and very simply, but there is big complicated civilization to just for the sake of supporting, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Just these four things. At the end, they are not doing anything which is more advanced than these four things. But for the sake of that, so many elaborate arrangements to make big buildings, big these industries, companies, factories, big cities, to maintain them, to undergo so much struggle, to maintain big airlines, to to make sure that people can travel from one place to another. Just now we saw, and in every sphere we see, in every phase they are really punished, as it is discussed here. So they are punished by the Supreme Lord. So we see that in every sphere they are punished. They open big hospitals, and hardly few patients, hardly anyone is cured by the treatment. They may get some temporary relief, and again they are back with the same problem. They open big factories to solve. For example, just take an example of this car industry. So to run one car industry, you need at least 1,000 industries before that to support a car industry to manufacture. So this Maruti company is manufacturing one car, so it will require so many parts from different industries which will be supplied to it. So the end product comes to us after so much struggle. Already everyone is punished so much by working so hard in these factories, struggling and suffering. So this is described in the Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma. So they engage in so much Ugra Karma and their minds are always disturbed. And because of this, they have to indulge in sinful sense gratification to just overcome that tendency, and like that, so the entire aim of human life is wasted. So we see that they are punished in every stage. So it is so much suffering just to maintain these industries and factories and these cities. Recently, one airline company had very famous airline company in India, so it had to cancel so many thousands of flights because everything was chaos. So they think that they will be able to do something better and change the world by dint of their intelligence. But ultimately, what happens is their plans are smashed by the material energy of the Lord. So something or the other comes because they are not in the supreme position. They are controllers to some extent, but they are not the supreme controllers. They are not Parameshwaras. So some defect remains in their control and management, and ultimately, somehow or other, they are made to suffer. So we are discussing that Dushkritina word in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna explains that Namam Dushkritino Muda Prapadyante Naradhama Mayaya Aparita Jnana Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. So he is explaining that people they don't surrender unto me. So by surrendering to Lord, we can overcome this material energy. We are discussing that how we are conditioned and we are in this material world. So to overcome this material energy is very simple. It is just one small one small procedure is there. It is Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarandita. If you surrender unto Supreme Lord, you will overcome this material energy of the Lord. But if it is so easy, still what happens is these there are some more intelligent, advanced, so-called advanced people, more intelligent people, so who think that they have a better plan. So they need not. So in any situation comes, they think that they can handle it better than the established order of the Lord. So therefore, uh, they are called dushkritis. So they have some intelligence, but they utilize it for unnecessary activities. So just like we see in the present times, also this in the 20th century, these famous demons, Hitler and Stalin, and they have so many deaths on their name. So if you take an estimate, millions of people got killed in the Second World War. And what was the cause for that war? Some little ambition or greed of one person, just for the sake of satisfying the greed of one person. So he made sure that so many millions of people get killed. And even similarly, Stalin also, although he didn't, he, I don't think he engaged in any warfare like that, but to make sure that his supreme position is not challenged and not disturbed. So whoever spoke against him, so he made sure that such people were prosecuted and killed. In fact, it is mentioned, means if you statistics mostly says that, if I'm not wrong, that he has more deaths on his name than the Second World War. So many people, just one leader to satisfy his greed, he's killing. So they think that they have their intelligence and they can go on like this, but ultimately they are all punished by the by the laws of material nature. So they think in their ego that I am doing prakrite kriyamanaani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham niti manyate. So actually, all the things that are going on in this world are going on by the modes of material nature, according to their karma, according to their karmic reactions. So by our material intelligence, by our so-called intelligence, we can't change anything. But those who are puffed up by this material ego, so they think that I am doing it. That is their ego. I am the doer. I am the enjoyer. I am the karta. Ishvaroham aham bhogi. So that is their misconception or their misinformation. So these four kinds of dushkritinas are discussed in Bhagavad Gita: Mudha, Naradhama. So Mudas means foolish people who work very hard, those who are exploited. Actually, if you see in the present society, we have examples for all these people in the highest degree. as Kali Yuga is advancing, we don't know what is going to come in future, but at least in the present time, we are seeing that people work so hard in foolish way. So example is given of an ass. What an ass does, he just carries some load for the washerman, for the dhobi. He carries some, and at the end of the day, after such hard labor, what happens is the washerman gives him little grass to eat, and he's very satisfied with that. He thinks that he's very advanced. But little grass is available anywhere, even without working so hard for the washerman. He could have simply done. Uh, he could have simply avoided all that labor and just eaten grass and become happy. Similarly, in the present society, also we see this complex arrangement. People are working so hard from 9 to 5 or whatever, practically 9 onwards. There is no. I know some people, they mention about their work timings, that my work timing starts at 9 o'clock and there is no end time. As long as required, we go on working. So they are mudas. It is not that by working extra, they will get extra salary or something, but still they go on working. And even if, let's say, even if they are getting some salary and they are being maintained, what is the point? Ultimately, you have to maintain yourself by eating eating food grains and vegetables and some milk and ghee, which is available like that only, simply just by growing for a few months of effort every year. You can grow so much, whatever you require throughout your entire year, and you can save so much time for doing for cultivating higher spiritual values. But we will not do that. We will maintain this complex establishment, complex arrangement, just for the sake of so-called happiness. And in fact, even after getting these thick fat salaries, what happens is just some number goes on increasing in their account, that they are getting some money, but they don't get good quality of even eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Good quality of material life is not available. There is no good food. So by paying any amount of price, you can't get pure ghee. Is it possible? By paying 600 rupees, you will get 1 kg good ghee. No. Whatever you are getting is some kind of compromise in the name of ghee which is being sold. So this is an example of mudas, how this present civilization is forcing everyone to become mudas. So mostly everyone plans like that, their life, that they will continue, they will grow up, they will progress, and they will improve their material situation like this. But ultimately, they are cheated. So the leaders, they have established this kind of society. It is the duty of leaders to give proper direction to the mass of the people, but they don't do that. And instead, for the sake of their own greed, just like we were discussing, these demons, the tendency of these demons, just to fulfill their own greed, to stay in power. Yesterday, Prabhu was also discussing how Giridhari Gopinath Prabhu was explaining that how to keep their position in power, they to keep their votes, so they appease different kinds of all classes of people and make sure that they stay in power. So that is democracy. So actually, crazy demons. In ISKCON, it is joked, demon crazy. Democracy means demon crazy. So crazy demon is himself crazy, and he will make sure that and the entire society becomes crazy. So this is not proper system of government. So leader means monarch, good Rajarsh, good God conscious king should be there, who will direct the mass of people into proper values of civilization and how to lead this human life. Civilization means to think about the higher goal of human life, just not just engaging in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, but at the same time, that is there, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, whatever is required for the body. So that has to be given, that we can't ignore, but it should be done to the extent that it is required, and at the same time, the higher purpose of human life should not be lost. But the present civilization, we are clearly seeing that there is no discussion about, or there is no concept of higher goals. Somehow or other, maintain your material existence, and that's it. If you are sick, go to doctor, take on medicine. If it works, it may work. If most probably it will not work, and it may make you suffer more. But but that is the system. So that is the procedure. In every sphere of life we see, in every place. So whatever they are doing, it is not helping the society, it is mostly. So we were discussing about car industry, that how there is so much pain to manufacture one car, but once the once the car is ready, again you have to undergo so much trouble to maintain these different roads, to maintain so many offices, registration authorities, made so many toll gates, and then so many accidents are there. So it is just complicating the existence, and then there is traffic at place. Sometimes it so happens that you may reach certain, in big cities you may reach certain place faster by walk than by car. There is so much traffic. So what is the point? So much complex civilization, and the purpose is only defeated. As they say, operation successful, patient died. Operation is done properly, but the patient has died. What is the point? So like that, these are all dushkritinas, mudas, foolish people. Another class of dushkriti is mudas, naradhamas, those who are lowest among men. So, as Padma Puran mentions, that there are 84 lakh species, and out of that, 4 lakh varieties of human beings are there. And these categories, this Naradhamas, so they are lowest among them. So, yeah, they don't have any goal of reviving their lost consciousness. Then Maya Aparita Jnana, those who are intelligent, like philosophers and scientists, but uh, they they will work to establish things which will disturb against the established order. Just like modern scientists, somebody invented a nuclear bomb. So obviously there is intelligence is there to do something, but it is utilized in a destructive way. So already people are dying, and you have invented something that people will die faster. You are accelerating death. So what is the advantage? So this is called your although they are knowledgeable, but their knowledge is taken away by Maya, by the material energy of the Lord. And the last class of Duskriti mentioned is Asuram Bhavam Ashritah. So those who are clearly demonic, they challenge the existence of the Supreme Lord, just like we are seeing in the present case of this demon Hiranyaksha. So he's challenging the order of the uh, established order of the Supreme Lord and unnecessarily disturbing world peace. As we discussed, that these modern leaders also they also have this. They have there are many examples in the history, in the recent history, and in the history of this, in the past history also, of demons who just disturb the order of world peace. So they form so many big organizations. What is that? United Nations and League of Nations. After First World War, they made League of Nations, and then after Second World War, they made United Nations. So they are utter failure. So every year conferences are happening, and the number of flags go on increasing. Means every year the number of countries is increasing. Basically, if you want to unite people, then why should there be more division? People should stay united. But it is seen that it is utter failure. So the world is going on getting divided into more and more sections and classes, and always there is fight. So this is how materialistic uh, people or demonic people, so they conduct uh, their mentality is described here. So there was no need. Everything was going on well in the present case of Hiranyaksha, we see. So that things were in order. But what he is doing, he is roaming around with his mace in the waters. It is discussed in the previous verses, and looking for an opportunity to fight without any reason. And what is the result of that? And they are just disturbing world peace. So here we see that Lord Varuna Deva. So he utilized his calm, his patience, and he didn't get carried away by the provoking words of this Asura. So when he asked for battle, when he asked for an opportunity to fight, so Lord Varuna Deva, he intelligently and straightforwardly refused battle, and he is directing him to the Supreme Lord Vishnu only. Because again, as Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. So that is his mission. And Lord Varuna, he has ensured that instead of getting unnecessarily involved with that, he can just send him to Supreme Lord and he will take care of the matter. One more thing was that when Krishna says Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, in the purport Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that it is not necessary that the Supreme Lord himself has to appear to kill these demons. So his material energy is quite sufficient to do that task. But when he comes, he at the same time he does his different activities. He establishes Paritranaya Sadhunam. So he establishes his different missions, and at the same time he does Anusangika. Anusangika means along with that he does this activity also of slaying the demons. So yeah, somebody may question that at the present time so many demonic activities are going on, and why the Supreme Lord is not appearing. So to curb these asuras, the Lord need not necessarily appear. So by his material energy, he is quite competent to take care of, uh, of all the disturbances created by these people. So whatever disturbances they create, ultimately, by dint of the material energy, they are smashed. Their ego is smashed. Their plans are smashed, and they are made to suffer somehow or other. So like that, we can understand. And along with Lord's appearance, so when he kills these demons, so we get so much uh, knowledge to relish about his activities and his pastimes, and this again helps again to revive dharma and to make sure that people don't lose track of their path. They have some way of of uh, of reclaiming them, means of somehow or other coming out of this material existence by remembering the qualities and names and forms and pastimes of the Lord. And saintly devotees uh, will will always remember and uh, sing about these glories and preach about these glories to the ordinary masses, and like that they can again be reinstated, be brought back into the position of in their constitutional position of being subservient to the Supreme Lord. So, like that, we can understand these are some thoughts on the present verse. If there are more points, we can discuss. If there is some questions, also we can discuss. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की